Something that I kind of rushed through in my previous video where I was taking you through the entire massive Diablo Immortal update was the new skills coming to each of the classes inside of Diablo Immortal, minus the Shadow Knight. We talked about that there was legendary gear. We know that with these updates, we get regularly updated legendary gear, new essences essentially, which modify skills. But this is the first time we're actually getting brand new skills to the game. And I want to go through them with you guys here today a little bit more in depth. Now, they each come with a little bit of a video and a description. So let's see what Blizzard has to say and dive deeper into each of our current 6 classes. Blizzard says we're adding an additional skill for each class that unlocks at level 53. The aim with these new skills is to provide additional group utility or fill niches to better round out the toolkit for each class. So essentially what they're saying here is they see areas of that need a little bit of change, and they're adding something there to benefit the class. Some of these I think are great. Others, like the Barbarian here, I'm not sure that it's really that huge. But again, all of these are going to be modifiable through essences as well, which is going to be really interesting. Now, there were also balance changes that came to a bunch of the skills and the essences for all of these classes as well. I'm not going to be getting into those inside of this video, but that is available on the blog post as well. All of this we will be seeing early tomorrow, which I'm thinking I'm going to wake up early and live stream it. We'll have to see. Make sure you subscribe with that notification bell, just in case I go live. You guys are going to want to be there with me, right? Like, wouldn't you? Either way, let's take a look at the Barbarian. This one, it's called Sunder. It has a 12-second cooldown. The damage is briefly launch into the air and smash to the ground with your weapon, generating a huge shockwave that deals damage to all enemies in the area while also increasing all damage they take by 30% for 6 seconds. Players will take increased damage for 3 seconds. All right, let's take a look at this and see how it actually looks. So he's going to jump in the air. Everyone is stunned, and then everything is taking more damage. It doesn't look like anything crazy, but it does look fairly cool. We're gonna have to test it out because I am the Barbarian class inside of the game, and we'll see how it goes. Now, it says players will take increased damage. I guess that means that I, as a player, will take increased damage. We're gonna need to break into or dive into these notes a little bit deeper once it's live inside of the game. Next, we're gonna move on to the Crusader. Fist of the Heavens with a 7-second cooldown. The damage it does: call down divine wrath to strike up to 8 nearby enemies, damaging them. Oh, looks like my kids are home from school. For every 10% of a targeted enemy's missing life, the damage dealt to that target by Fist of Heavens will be increased by 25%. So for every 10% of targeted enemies missing life, the damage dealt to that target by Fist of the Heavens will be increased. So it seems like it just damages more. It does more damage or deals more damage over time. Let's see. We're going to have to replay this again. Those lightnings come down, and then it's just tons of damage that's dropped. I like that there's like these lightning skills or these lightning parts to these skills that comes through. Next, we have the Demon Hunter. Shadow Sight. A 24-second cooldown on this one, the longest one yet. This one's a buff. Immediately reveal all bosses, treasure goblins, elite monsters, and enemy players within 90 yards of you on the minimap, and increase movement speed of yourself and nearby enemies for 20 seconds for 20% for 12 seconds. Well, this is cool. It's going to give you more vision on the map itself within 90 yards. That's pretty cool. I don't know how much 90 yards actually is on the minimap, but I'm assuming it's probably a substantial amount. Really cool because you'll be able to find more stuff on the map. Plus, you get the boost in speed. Let's see how this works. Boom, there we go. There's the vision. And the movement speed should be increased right now. It's not really showing this being used on the map, though. We can't see the map, so we can't see where the vision is. But you'll notice that if we replay it here, the vision, it shows out the sight, eyeball on top, increased speed, and that's going to be a cool one. More something that you'll be using for PvE, open world, you know, fun stuff versus competitive stuff. Maybe that's because the Demon Hunter is already crazy good in PvP. Next up, the Monk. Breath of Heaven with a 12-second cooldown. This is also a buff. Immediately restore life and grant 60% increased movement speed to yourself and all nearby allies. Using Breath of Heaven on the same target again within 9 seconds reduces the healing amount by 50%. So you're going to be able to restore some life. This is a nice buff here that's going to be able to help immediately restore life and grant 60% increased movement speed. This is insane for the monk, specifically when you get into big battles and you get yourself stuck in a situation. Boom, pop this skill, life is back, and then you're quick, you're able to move around and just evade or even dive back into the battle very quickly. Really nice looking skill there. Hard to see it how it's being demonstrated right here, but it's nice that the monk is getting a buff in that way. I actually like that this one is a buff and not damage. Let's move on to the Necromancer, a little bit more of an enhanced description here with a 30-second cooldown. Another buff. Grant yourself or an ally borrowed time for 8 seconds. If the target takes fatal damage during this borrowed time, they will be resurrected at full life, but with a curse. The curse will drain 5% of the target's maximum life every second and last for a maximum of 16 seconds. The curse can be removed sooner if the target kills an enemy or assists in killing an enemy. Borrowed time will automatically be used on you when you take fatal damage if it's not on cooldown. So this is like a cheat death. This is kind of like a cheat death thing that they have with the Barbarian, right? Because it says borrowed time will automatically be used on you when you take fatal damage if it's not on cooldown. So that's really nice. It's a cheat death mechanism for the Necromancer. Let's see how this looks right here. There it is right there, summoned. They didn't show though, like they're showing it. This is Blizzard's footage. It seems that they're showing it being used, but they're not showing you actually cheating death. Maybe because we can't see all of the stuff on the screen. It's just like a cinematic mode. We can't see it actually cheating death. Let's move on to the Wizard though. I believe this is our last one. Yes, it is. Frostfield, 20-second cooldown, and this is a control skill. Create a field of gathering hoarfrost in an area. After a short delay, all enemies in the area will take damage and be frozen in ice for 12 seconds. Player can be frozen for a maximum of 4 seconds. An enemy that takes damage after being frozen for at least 6 seconds will immediately be unfrozen. For players that will be unfrozen if they take damage after being frozen for at least 2 seconds. Wow, okay, that one's in depth. Let's see what this one looks like. This one's a little bit more confusing. So he's going to freeze all of the enemies. This freeze lasts for a few seconds, but then they all get taken. So essentially it's a way to prevent any enemies from incoming. Let's read that again. Control a field of gathering in an area. You gather your frost in an area. After a short delay, all the enemies in the area will take damage and be frozen in ice. Oh, they're frozen for 12 seconds. So you have 12 seconds to take them out before they're unfrozen. Players will be frozen for a maximum of 4 seconds. What is that? After a short delay, all enemies in the area will take damage and be frozen in ice for 12 seconds. Players will be frozen for a maximum of 4 seconds. An enemy that takes damage after being frozen for at least 6 seconds will immediately be unfrozen. Oy vey. That's confusing. Are players like other people in PvP? Because I, as the wizard right here, I'm automatically right away able to attack after the frost is being done. So I think it must mean players in PvP for that one. A little bit more testing is going to be needed on some of these classes. I don't think that the video that we're getting is giving a full representation of what they actually do and how strong they're actually going to be. Like anything else, we have to get our hands on it and see what it all feels like. But the Barbarian is what I'll be getting my hands on. We'll be seeing how it goes. Which one do you think is the best new skill coming to Diablo Immortal? Really curious. Now, you're probably going to say the skill that is focused on your class because you're most excited about it. I'm not sure. Let me know your thoughts down below. I am going to be excited and prepared for this update once it drops in it's probably like 12 hours from now. We'll see you guys tomorrow and have fun in the update.